Member for Maitland.
Thank you, Mr. Temporary Speaker. I rise today to speak on a subject which is very close to the hearts and minds of everyone in my electorate, and it's an appropriate day to speak about this thing because it is May Day today, 1st of April. On the 28th of April each year, people from around the world pause to remember those who have lost their lives due to a workplace incident, accident or occupational disease. The International Day of Mourning is a sad reminder to all of us to take the time to recognise the significance and vital importance of work health and safety and how workplace incidents affect those around us. We take a moment to think of those families where someone never came home from work, those children who will never know their father, their mother, and for those who have lost a life partner, a son, a daughter, a friend, or even a colleague. Last weekend, I attended the small but significant service in the Hunter hosted by Hunter workers. Having worked in the heavy vehicle transport industry prior to my entry to Parliament, I know firsthand the risks that are faced by workers, clients and even members of the public when accidents happen at work. I owned my company, luckily, at a time when the former Labor government undertook an extensive review of safety in the bus and heavy vehicle industry, and safety management systems were introduced into the industry as a mandatory part of bus operator accreditation for the first time. Introducing changes that properly protect workers and ensure proper compliance and oversight is a constant challenge for government. It involves education and working with employees to improve their work habits and with management and owners to ensure that safety is properly funded. The most important agent for change and for reducing deaths at work is, of course, the union movement, from where our party and our movement arose. Those on the other side of this place are often at pains to criticise the union movement. However, I pay tribute to our unions for their tenacity, their strength and their resolve to stop deaths and injuries at work. I'll table a list of all the mighty unions I'd like to mention today, but I want to relate a story about how this became very clear to me. Back in 1997, the then Liberal government wanted to implode the site of the former Canberra Hospital. In that particular event, there was a life lost of young Katie Bender. She was a member of the public who was sitting watching the implosion, which turned out to be an explosion. A friend of mine, Paul Ingwerson, a very dear friend of mine, who had at that time been working as an organiser for the HSU, went into all sorts of strife as a unionist, trying to fight to ensure that the glass windows at the aged care hospice that was at the site were actually protected by boards, so that if anything went wrong in that event, that those people would be protected. He was able to do that, and the damage to those boards showed that there was real wisdom in his side. No one thanked him beforehand for his efforts, but certainly afterwards it was clear that lives had been saved and injuries avoided due to his work as a unionist. I'd like to pay tribute to also so many unions, the AIMPE, AMWU, ASU, AMIEW, AMIEU, AWU, CFMEU, CPSU, CEPU, ETU, FSU, HSU, MUA, MEAA, RTBU, SDA, TCFUA, TWU, USU, United Voice, the PSA, the New South Wales NMA and the Teachers Federation, who have worked with our Labor Party to save workers' lives at every point. The Hunter is a close-knit community, and I pay tribute to all the workers in the Hunter who have died as a result of workplace incidents in recent years, particularly in December 2013, Ingrid Forshaw, a female miner who died at age 38 at Singleton. She came from Cessnock. In 2014, Ryan Messenger, a 25-year-old from Raymond Terrace who died at Karua. In March 2016, Sergeant Jeffrey Richardson from Port Stephens who died in Cessnock. In December 2016, 53-year-old Stephen Norman, who died near Singleton. In March 2017, Tim McPherson, who had only recently moved to Maitland with his pregnant wife and their toddler son, who died at Barangaroo. In October 2017, 55-year-old father of three, Alan Newling, who died in Thornton. In March 2018, 20-year-old Braden Asser from Macquarie Hills who died at a recycling facility in Mayfield West. In the Hunter, we have lost more than 1,800 miners since mining began, but one death, any death, is one too many. I pay tribute to the union movement for their work to protect lives in work, and I also pay tribute to the families of those who have lost a loved one at work. It is too much. Thank you.
I call the member for